enemies or what? How can umuntu avela kudubule la egate anishiye khona lapho egate?
This is one of the many cases we have in the country where a young woman lost her life, and then the man or the guy or the suspect is just taken to jail. At some point, it needs to be a life for a life.
Hours of Sunday morning, October 26th, the community of Mamelodi East was shaken by an act of senseless violence that claimed 2 young lives.
I will not go down that way! I choose to fight back! I choose to rise, not fall! I choose to live, not die! And I know that what's within me is also within...
Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's me with another reaction video. 2 young women's lives have been cut short in Mamelodi. This is crazy. 2 young women, the community woke up 2 young women lying in the streets, their bodies lifeless. This is one of the most heinous things, you know, and it's not even the worst because there's so many cases and it leads back to danger against women's lives. Let's watch this video real quick, guys. This is very upsetting. It shook the country. It's something else to just wake up and you find young women lying lifeless in the streets. Yo, let's just get into the video real quick. Let's hear what's happening. Let's hear what the family say. Away.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, October 26th, the community of Mamelodi East was shaken by an act of senseless violence that claimed 2 young lives. 22-year-old Tiamo Moramaga and her 21-year-old cousin Baleseng were found dead on Sompisi Street in Extension 17. Both women had been shot in the head. The cousins had grown up together, inseparable since childhood. They attended crèche together, went to school together, and remained close as they pursued their dreams. Tiamo was studying beauty therapy, specializing in nails and hair, while Baleseng was working towards becoming a teacher. On Saturday evening, just hours before their deaths, the young women had spent time with their aunt Maggie. They talked about family, including Maggie's son Douglas, who had died in a car accident 2 years earlier. The conversation ended around 7:30, and that would be the last time anyone would see them alive.
Ngibe nabo thoma ngobo 5 esikhuluma ngomntwana amashona ayo class bangitshela the way uthathi bekajiva ngakhona ayazujiva njengo DJ banibani so masihamba bahamba nabo bangiphekelela tot laba yongijikela khona bathi yo sesi arisa ukhapha yo raka because wena she ufihlile rena re boela morago ke ba qine ka yona nako ya bo 7:30 ke maketse through ba tlo mpishe ba re tla bona bana ba banishiba ba re ke ba geno mara re show wena tla ba bone because banyaka dipampiri tja bona e ke fihla ka nnete ke kry bana ba le ke bona ngifuna umthetho udlala indima yayo ngoba sifuna justice kula bantwana sazi ukuthi babulaleleni angisho sazi ukuthi babulawe njani babulawe ubani bona badunyuziwe siyavuma mara ukuthi babulaleleni asazi babulalelani bayi2.
At approximately 4 in the morning, neighbors heard what sounded like an argument. Witnesses reported hearing Tiamo pleading to be left alone, saying that the confrontation would force her to make a mistake. Then came the gunshots. When police arrived at 6:15, they discovered the bodies. One phone had been stolen, while the other remained in its owner's pocket. Tiamo's mother, Itumeleng, now faces every parent's worst nightmare.
Sibakhulise boyi2 bakhula engathi ama-twin like sibaxokiza ukufana yonke into yabo efanayo so engizobuhlungu kakhulu ngizobuhlungu ngoba nabantu sebakhuluma into bangayazi angibazi mhlawumbe banama enemies or what how can umuntu avela kudubule la egate anishiye khona lapho egate so angazi ukuthi ukwenzakalani nami ngisafuna indaba ngisafuna iclosure kahle ngizwe kahle ukuthi ukwenzakalani. Friday ngalethembisa azongenza inwele njengoba ngisho ukuthi usebenza khona ukwenza inwele nensipho like so bakazokwenza inwele ngalethembisa so ubuye izolo abuya ngapha ePitori khona la bahlala khona manje singizwa sengibizwa mina
ekuseni ukuthi yiwoza uzobona ngapha mara bangitshela ukuthi uma ufika uthola ukuthi abantwana bashonile buyi-2 bakhula buyi-2 vele bona bahlezi begqoka ukufana nalana ngibona khona ngizobabona bagqoka into efanayo umntwana kasisi wami omunye and omunye owami so ngithola ukuthi ama-pathologists sekafikile base babafake emotweni almost bebase bahamba then ngabacela ukuthi ngifuna ukubabona ababona omunye utuleke inhloko omunye utuleke chest.
Execution style. When is the government gonna say, you know what, you take a life, we take your life? I think we need that, because this is one of the many cases we have in the country where a young woman lost her life, and then the man or the guy or the suspect is just taken to jail. At some point, it needs to be a life for a life, guys. Aye. First things first, sukata masende. Second things second, su angpal malsal. This is pissing off because a lot of young women walk in the streets scared, guys. Because it's so scary these days how easy it is to just take someone's life and you just go to jail. At some point, the government needs to do something about this, because we can't have these cases. And it's scary because now it's painting a bad picture, it's setting a bad image, because you can imagine if these cases just carry on like this and you're just being sent to jail. You just took someone's life, you go into jail, you have a place to sleep, you have food, you are set. It doesn't matter if you are locked up, if they throw away the key. The fact that you cut someone's life short, that on its own, you don't deserve to sleep again, you don't deserve to eat again. It's shy, Joe. That's shy. Like, now a family is in pain while you are living and you having food, you wake up every day. A young woman's life is cut short. She had a life ahead of herself. They both did, and now none of them are gonna see tomorrow. How come? At some point, like, serious action needs to be taken, especially towards people who actually end other people's life. Like, I don't appreciate the fact that you can just end someone's life and you just be sent to prison to live another day, to see tomorrow. You're gonna be there and they make friends, and you know how people live comfortably, you make friends, but you cut someone's life short. You don't have a right to do that. So as a country, this should be like one of those final strokes, and I don't know, because these cases just come off and pop off. Hey, men have a problem, men. Hey, yo, there's no excuse into taking someone's life. There's no excuse. Realizing that it's related to women being killed, it's very pissing off. Yo, guys, now a family is, imagine having to bury 2 of the children in the house at the same time. They died the same way. They were not even gang affiliated. They were not even, like, they didn't even move like that. And they were killed like rabid dogs or gangsters in the streets, like gunshot. I don't care what the man's excuse is. The guy needs to be, you know, the level of justice needs to be equal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because now imagine the pain the family is going through. When you are there, you're gonna eat breakfast, you're gonna eat lunch and supper. Fuck, man. Imagine.
Ngoba like lento lehleli yenzeka too much ukuthi abantwana bayabulala, especially abantwana bamantombazana. I don't know, abantwana bese baseyikolweni bazofunda lana, like isiluzile kakhulu. Angimazi lo muntu ayenze lesigameko, but I wish amapholisa angenelela yenza umsebenzi wabo. uze Friday ungilungise izolo ekseni ethembisa then wagibela wabuya ngapha ngoba uhlala ngapha then so
fam. Now the poor mother is shattered. The whole family is now shattered. Imagine burying two of children in the same household. They were not gangsters. They were not carrying guns. It doesn't matter how they lived. The fact that someone just ended their lives, that's all that matters. You can't just do that. That's wrong, guys. That's so wrong. And for these people to just see another day after doing such a heinous thing. Yeah.
Gauteng police have arrested a
and action. So, on this case, a suspect has been apprehended because this case has been going down for a minute. I don't know when this happened, but yeah, it's just popped up on my timeline because it's everywhere. So let's hear what they say, because apparently there's a suspect being arrested.
Suspect in connection with the deaths of two women in Mamelodi East. The bodies of cousins Chiamo and Baleseng Moramacha were found with...
Imagine they're lying like that in the streets, like crazy dogs, rabid dogs. Guys, come on. We can do better as a nation. Hang pal malsal. That's what I say. No biana. No, you cannot take someone's life, Joe. And, yeah.
Gunshot wounds on Sunday. Police say a third woman survived the attack. The 38-year-old suspect will appear in the Mamelodi Magistrates Court on Wednesday. Newsroom Africa's Zinigo Mhlaba is in Mamelodi and joins us now live with the latest from there. Zinigo Mhlaba.
A very good afternoon to you, Bravi. Yes, indeed, the Gauteng police have just announced that a suspect has been arrested following the brutal murder of Chiamo and Baleseng here in Mamelodi Extension 7 in the morning yesterday. And of course, we're actually right at the scene where their bodies were found, Bravoya. And of course, just behind me, there are those two spots covered with sands. That's where, the bodies of Chiamo and Baleseng were found by locals who were passing by, after a night at an establishment here in Extension 17. And community members then alerted the police that indeed there were two bodies they had seen here, and police came through, and of course the forensic team also came through. So immediately, Gauteng Police unit responsible for violence and violence and a detective team at a provincial level working with Gauteng Mamelodi East Police Station then started their investigations immediately yesterday, and it has culminated to the arrest of a 37-year-old here in Mamelodi. He was arrested at a filling station today, so within 24 hours a suspect has been apprehended. And of course, that person has not been named until he pleads in court on Wednesday. However, Bravi, after hearing that there have been an arrest that has been made, we did ask the family members whether they've been officially informed about that development. They told us that not as yet. They are still awaiting for the investigating officer to be in touch with them, saying that they've not heard anything from police since yesterday. So that has been, a situation with the family. They've been, not getting any update as far as the investigations are going. And Bravuya must state that 2 hours ago, we were called on by some community members here who are living on the very same street, saying that they had identified a cartridge that they believe might have been linked to that shooting. And we did, see some pictures of that cartridge, and calls were made to the authorities. And a police minibus arrived here and engaged with the members of a political party EFF about that cartridge, and that cartridge has just been, confiscated or taken from the crime scene like few minutes ago. So those are some of.
You kill people, you go and get petrol. So he was going about his day like normal. There. Watch you. Nah, like at some point this has to stop, guys. This murdering of women has to stop. Because women are going about scared. They're moving scared, not knowing what will happen to them next. Like, imagine living in such a country where something like this could happen. And women are always being killed. It don't matter what they did. It don't matter what they did or who they did it with. You don't have a right to take someone's life like that. You don't have a right to do that. No one has a right to end anyone's life. Hence, I'm saying a life for a life. You end someone's life, your life deserves to be ended. If not the same way, in the most brutal way. Slow and painful. Fucker. Like, guys, cases like this, like, as much as we can say GBV, we can speak on it and say, we need to take action. A life for a life, bro. Now you know, if you end someone's life, your life it has to be taken. Because like, this guy was going about his day, getting petrol, filling station. That means he was just going about his day. And it's to show how much people underestimate the South African justice system, the police. This is to show that people know there's a chance they can get away. That's why someone can do such a thing and just move on or get away. Give us a name, Baba. Yeah. Give us a name, cash build, regular detainer. On the very same spot. Put the guy there. Let regular detainer. Yeah. As mpagati. Omulom atwara 5. Run. Kalaini so. 30 people, 30 men, 50 men. Refendi detainer. Ramofelo namu. I hope. Bona. Ay. Bona. Let cash build, let regular in the first brick. First brick. Let me move. That's what the government should do. But this is serious, guys. This is horrible. Like, the level of which these cases just pop up where women are being killed. Women are being killed because they rejected a guy. She's being killed because she wanted to leave a guy. She's being killed. There's no excuse. At this point, there's no excuse. Then we are surprised why women can say men are trash, men are monsters. But you hear all these cases that pop up. I understand there are women who kill men. But how many cases of that? It happens, but the way men normalize taking women's life in this modern age is something else, especially in South Africa. And I'm saying this as a man in South Africa. That you will hear women say stories of how they're scared. As men, we need to call each other out and say, nah, this can't slide. You know what I mean? Like, even the justice system needs to come up and say, no. Death penalty is back. Because now it's getting out of hand. And now the taxpayers' money is going to feed you. You took someone's life. Their mother is left on this planet, still paying tax to feed you, motherfucker. Father fucker, sister fucker. Guys, this is sad, guys. This is sad. You know, this is so sad.
The things that have been happening here at Extension 7. What has also been coming out from the people we've been talking to is that, well, this is not an area where you'd find such a tragic incident taking place. Even car theft is not an issue. House breakings are not an issue. So people are still very shocked in terms of what could have led to this particular incident. Speaking to the mother, Bravio, as well, when we're engaging with her about the possible suspect who has just been arrested, the mother said, well, she does not know who that person is. However, there is someone she has in mind from the conversation she had had with her daughter, Tiamo. However, she's saying that she can only confirm whether this is the person she's suspecting once that person appears in court. Also stating that, well, she's looking forward to seeing that person and just maybe try to get some answers in terms of what might have led to him, that suspect, killing these two young girls. So that's the situation here. But also unconfirmed reports from people who were talking to us off camera, Bravo, were saying that there was a text that was sent from one of the mobile phones of the two deceased to a friend explaining that, well, one of the victims is fearing for her life. There is someone who is trying to kill her. So community members are saying that, well, that is also the information that law enforcement authorities might have used to really pin down or zoom into a particular individual. So we're not sure whether all those informations and update and evidence that has been presented to the authorities or handed over to the authorities, is the same evidence that led to this arrest. The family is still very shocked. They could not even engage with us properly, but they did describe that, they were actually, Tiamo's mom said that the last time she saw Tiamo was on Friday. Tiamo had visited her in Tembisa, where the mother stays, and she helped her with her hair, saying that, well, she now believes that maybe that was Tiamo's, way of bidding farewell to the mother. So that's the situation. A lot of questions without necessary answers coming forth. However, these news, which are alluding to the fact that there is a suspect who has been arrested, I'm not sure then whether the family is going to try to get some closure. And I believe that maybe Wednesday, when this suspect appears at the Mamelodi Magistrate Court, that's when they'll get an idea in terms of who this person is and whether some of their answers will be given and will be answered. Some of their questions will.
That hand is dancing. Like, she's just dancing there on her phone. Ooh, show me I'm on camera. Var shooter. Show me on pona. Level like that. Shame. You cloud seeking. Shame. Just shame, guys. But this situation is so horrible, guys. This GBV, gender-based violence, is getting out of hand. What's going on with the man? But but violence is not the answer. Ending someone's life is not the answer. I don't care what you say. The police should just go to cash build, buy bricks like for pilot. So, yeah, put the guy there. Community line. Community for online. Then the next person who decides to kill a heart will learn, will born. But until the next video, we'll just hear how this situation cooks up. So apparently one of the hands actually knew that someone was coming after her. That means she's been threatened before. As you can see, it's so normalized for this to happen that someone would just threaten a young female's life like this. It's sad. That is the country we live in right now. It's a state with which we have achieved as humans after evolving for so many years. Shame. Pure shame. Until the next video, guys.